couple of weeks ago, a young woman came to us in desperate call for help. She is in her mid 30s and attended an ayahuasca ceremony somewhere else for the first time. Long story short, the person offering the experience probably did not give her proper introduction before administering the medicine, and in addition, he gave her way too much, especially given that it was her very first time. So this lady had a mental breakdown, unfortunately, so-called a bad trip during that experience. It was good up until a certain point, and then turned 180. She had a lot of overwhelming negative emotions and experience. She couldn't stop that. It was in a negative cycle over and over, and her body was completely out of control. It was the longest night in her life. It was devastating to hear her experience, and I felt so sorry for her. She was in a very dark place, had suicidal thoughts multiple times. That's when she probably felt something was not right and sought out for help, and I'm so glad that she reached out. Before she did that, she also actually contacted the person first who offered her the experience and asked A, if this is normal, and B, any advice on the solution. And even more unfortunately, this person pushed her to attend yet another psychedelic experience within the same week, claiming that this would help her to feel better. She followed her guts, and she felt this was probably not the sound advice she should follow. She reached out to a few retreat centers in the area, and given that she was traveling alone, her family was far away, she was here in a foreign country, she really didn't know who to trust. So she found us based on Google reviews and reached out to us. What we were able to assess and conclude was that she was not appropriate to receive more psychedelics within a short period of time. So we recommended against her attending any more psychedelics. Not with us, not with them, not with anyone. And we counseled her in depth that one day and several times after. She also received holistic therapy, trauma healing therapy, as well as non-psychedelic plant-based therapy with us, which helped her dramatically. She felt a lot better. A couple weeks later, when I checked in with her, she was back home. She was happy. She sounds like she was back on the right track. She was very appreciative of our help, and we were so happy that we were able to contribute to her and potentially saved her life in that moment when she needed help the most. What really disheartened me was that out of all these people that she sought out help, asking for advice, except for us, everyone else pushed her to attend more psychedelics events. And we tend to focus on doing the right things ourselves and not to criticize or judge others' behaviors. But when it comes to life or death, when someone's safety is on the line, it is not right to advise them to do something that could potentially put their life in danger. And this is unfortunately the reality right now with plant medicine. It is still an unregulated industry. So, there's a mixed batch of practitioners and different qualities and different experiences. Some may not even have the qualification to administer such powerful plants at all, and yet they're out there selling. And even though it sounds the same, but it's so vastly different from one healer to another, from one practitioner to another. So when people are looking for ayahuasca or any psychedelic experience for healing, I couldn't emphasize enough that it is not the same. So Don't just look at the price. Don't just look at how much quantity you're getting. In this scenario, it is not the more the better. It is what you need, what's necessary, and what's appropriate for you. And in her case, she received way too much that her almost put her life in danger. Luckily, she didn't have a medical emergency. She wasn't rushed to the hospital, but psychologically, she was damaged. She could have potentially have taken her life. And luckily, she followed her instinct. She was a very strong woman, and I'm so proud of her for working with us and saving herself out of that experience. I'm sure she learned a very good lesson. And for anyone else, I just strongly advise you to research on the practitioner, the healer, whoever administering the medicine. Make sure you research and understand where they learned it, how long they've been practicing the medicine, what's if there's any reviews, testimonials, and case studies that you can get your hands on to them. Know your healer as much as you can to build up your confidence because you need to be responsible for yourself.